Miss Golden Girl here. I have a question for you. Do you have a long-term care plan? How do you plan to pay for your long-term care? I have a long-term care plan, and my goal is to save $50,000 to fund it. I'm self-funding my long-term care by age 80. Well, I want to talk about retirement plan versus long-term care plan. I have a story I like to share with you. In 1996, my mother got sick and she needed long-term care. She didn't have a plan. She was age 66 at the time. So I lived in California at the time, and my brother lived in Arizona. So we had to try to come up with a plan for our mother. It was an eye-opener for me because the doctors said she could not return home. She had to go into a skilled care facility. And my mother was in that skilled care facility for 8 years. So my brother and my sister-in-law, they had come from Arizona, and I was there from California in Detroit, Michigan. And we were trying to come up with a plan for our mother. So it was very eye-opening for me. And looking for a skilled care facility for her in Detroit, which I was not knowledgeable about Detroit like that. I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan, which is about 30 miles from Detroit. So going around trying to find facilities that I was comfortable for our mother to go into. The social worker at the hospital was on us. They wanted to discharge her and to find something. But the places that she was sending me to, I wouldn't put my dog in those places, And I definitely wanted somewhere for my mother that I felt comfortable to come visit her. So at that time in 1996, I saw the need to have a long-term care plan. So in 1996, my job, after looking for a facility for my mother and the challenges of finding a facility, my job, Sacramento County, they offered in 1996 long-term care insurance. So I purchased a long-term care insurance policy at the age of 45. And I kept that policy until 1999 when I returned to Michigan. And I went back to work for the state of Michigan, and they had long-term care insurance. And I enrolled in a long-term care insurance plan with the state of Michigan. And I kept that plan until I took an early retirement, January 1st, 2003. I thought at that time my retirement income would be sufficient for my long-term care upon needing it. But I have since found out that is not the case. So here I am now at age 74, and I actually started at age 73, self-funding my long-term care plan. I started out with saving from my fixed income, my retirement income, $120. That was freed up in my budget when I got rid of a storage unit that I had had for a long time. The next year, I added an additional $100 to the $120, making it $220 that I was able to save for long-term care. That additional $100 came from when I had a term life insurance policy that expired, and I chose not to purchase another term policy at that age and to put that money into my long-term care fund. So now I'm at $220 monthly saving for my long-term care, coming out of my retirement income, which I have a pension, I have Social Security, and I exhausted my retirement accounts, 401, 457, some years ago. I took an early retirement in 2003, so I've been retired for some time now. So I paid my car off last year in 2025, and the plan was to, this year, 2026, is to take that car payment money, $436, added to the $220, and that will give me $636 a month to save for my long-term care. So I don't plan to purchase another car, and when I reach age 80, I'm going to be finished working, and I'm going to be finished with my car. I'm not going to try to have a car any longer. And I feel that getting rid of my car at age 80 will free up money in my budget. I'm estimating now that to maintain my car is about $5,000 a year. $3,600 of that is for car insurance, and the remaining is for maintenance, gas. So that will free up $5,000 annually at age 80. And I have a job. I have a permanent part-time job with Publix. And I did up a budget, and out of that budget, that job earned income now. I got earned income that I will save 15% weekly. I get paid weekly into a 401k, and that I will purchase weekly 1 share of Publix stock. Right now, that stock is going for $20.40 a share. Now, I'm not able to do this until I can't join the 401k until after 6 months of being on the job. And I'm not eligible to purchase stock until after working 1,000 hours and after 1 year on the job. So my anniversary date is January 21st. So come January 21st, 2027, and working at a minimum 1,000 hours in that year's time, well, by the end of December, I need that, I will be eligible to purchase stock. So I'm excited what I'm doing, and I did it. I got a first paycheck on January the 30th, and it wasn't much. It was for 2 hours of some training. And so immediately I took that money and I put it in. I have these saving vaults in this high yield saving account that I have. And one is called Public Stock, and the other one is Public 401k. So I am saving that money, and so when I am eligible to purchase stock, I'll have money that I can purchase the stock. And when I'm eligible to start contributing to 401k, that I will have money to go ahead and start doing that. So I am self-funding my long-term care plan. And I want to inspire others to sit down and think about retirement income versus long-term care funding. Because a retirement plan may not necessarily cover your long-term care plan. I thought when I took the early retirement, it would for me, but now with the costs of living here in 2026, it will not. So my goal is to save $50,000 by time I'm age 80. And that will be a good additional source to supplement the amount of money, the $656 that I would have available in my retirement income to assist with my long-term care. So this golden girl is so happy to have the additional source of income from the permanent job to help me with self-funding my long-term care plan. I didn't want this to be so long, but I'm coming back with a series on this. I want to talk about, I feel like I made the right decision at that time, because just think, if I still had that long-term care insurance, all of the premiums I would have paid on that from, like, say, 1996 to now. So I'm happy with the decision that I made in 2003, January, when I decided not to continue the long-term care policy. So, but thankful that I realized that my retirement income will not completely cover my long-term care. Now, what I am projecting that I need $320 a week. That's what I'm basing my budget on. That's 8 hours of care at $40 an hour. So that's where I come up with 320. And that's based on making the assumption that, I won't need a skilled care facility. Because I've got that covered too, like I could be faced with, I have to do a Medicaid spend down. I spend all my money. And then if I have to go in a skilled care facility, I don't have that kind of money to cover that. I know that. So then I would have to do a Medicaid spend down, spend all my money for my care, and then Medicaid then would step in and pay what I cannot pay. But I'm basing my budget on aging in place and just needing maybe 8 hours a week at $40 an hour for someone to come in to assist me with my needs. All right, Miss Golden Girl, I got a long-term care plan, and I'm self-funding it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.